industry professionals who act down. Hi, Tiffany.
Hello, Rhavynn.
How are you?
I'm doing amazing. How are you?
Good. Should we introduce ourselves?
Yes.
Well, hello. My name is Rhavynn Drummer, and this is
Tiffany Roshae Williams.
And this is Doja. She's our little co-host for today.
Yes.
And we are here to talk about everything industry related.
But first,
yes,
can we have a drink?
We can absolutely have a drink.
Okay.
We have our lovely, amazing PA here today. We're having the illustrious, expensive, exclusive Trader Joe's sparkling grape juice wine today.
I like TJs. This is right on time. Thank you, Nordia.
Very special that we have today, okay?
Let's cheers, actually.
And it's seasonal.
Oh, yeah.
So you can only get this at certain times during the year.
What's the flavor? Let me see.
Sparkling grape is the flavor. Yes, please. Thank you.
Come on,
All right,
cheers.
cheers. Yay!
Nope.
Oh, this is delicious.
It is. It's really good.
It's very good. All right. So what are you working on right now?
Me? I am casting.
Yeah.
Casting.
What are you casting?
A couple things.
What are we casting?
We are casting a Latin musical that we had a dance call for yesterday. It was so beautiful. Otra.
Yes.
Written and directed by Armani Ortiz.
Yes.
We're also casting this amazing Christmas film that's going to come out next year called God With Us, written and directed by Jimmy Jenkins, produced by Asante and Jasmine White.
How's that been going for you?
It has been an experience, a great experience.
What's been a high and what's been a low of this experience?
I'm finding that both of these are independent. They're backed, but they're independent films and not your typical studio or network production. And there are so many pros and cons with independence. I think with independence, you get the creativity, you get the art, but you need to get it.
Mm-hmm.
But you also get it is a lot of work. It's a lot of reaching out to people directly, reaching out to your contacts, your actors directly. And yeah, I'm just finding balance. It's teaching me a lot about myself, about how hard I work and how hard I go and try to let other people do things. I'm trying to learn how to delegate.
Yeah.
But yeah, what about you? What's been your experience in this?
In the independent world?
With the two films we're casting, in addition to everything else you're casting.
Yesterday was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I missed seeing artists in person. You know, I missed watching, feeling the energy of nervousness, of excitement, of trying to prove something to yourself, to the people in the room, of the competition. So with that dance musical, and I came home and I talked to Teddy about it, and I was like, I miss this feeling. I haven't, this is why we do this, you know?
Yes.
We've been in person for the past, not in person, we've been self-taping for the past, don't lick my chairs, for the past 5 years. And so it was nice to be it feels good to be around artists who are collaborating and who are figuring out and watching the assistants rehearse, and it's chaotic, but also really beautiful at the same time. So
I love not being the expert in the room.
Ooh,
it felt so good to feel like I don't know what they're doing. And it felt good because I think usually as casting directors or even just art actors in this acting field, we're the experts in the room. You and I are the one they're looking to.
Yeah.
And even though we were leading the casting session, we were not the dance experts.
Yeah.
And that was so inspirational and motivational and freeing to be looking at an artist and just appreciating the art and being like, oh my God, what you're doing is amazing. And not, oh my God, let me tell you how to do this, tweak this. Da-da-da. Yeah, I love that part of it.
Yeah. So that was fun. It made me feel I need to do more. I need to jump in more of this. And I'm such a musical lover. So it was and not that this, it is a musical. It's not theater, but it's it fed that part of me that needed that like musical outlet.
What's your favorite musical?
How dare you?
What's your favorite musical?
What is my favorite musical?
That's a hard question.
It's a terrible question. It's a good question.
What musical would you direct today? If someone said you could direct any musical in the world today, which one would you go for?
To be honest, I would direct School Days the musical, which is not a musical, but I always felt like School Days should be on stage.
Wow.
So I would definitely do that one. I would say the musicals that I really are drawn to, like I love Aida. I love Aida. And for those of you who don't know, check out it's Disney. It's a Disney musical. I love Aida. You know, I love like In the Heights, Hamilton. I love all that stuff, but I'm trying to think of old school musicals that I really, really love. I have to think about that.
Oh my God. And when you said old school, then it clicked. Now, you have to be a theater nerd, but The Color Museum by George C. Wolfe.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's not a musical, but it has music aspects in it. I would turn The Colored Museum into a musical.
Oh, that's really good.
The whole choir, I mean, go deep in it with the black.
So here's the thing. I was trying to decide between black or white musicals when you asked me.
Girl,
and that's why I was like, what is it? The black musical or white musical? I don't know.
Because there is a difference.
There is
a difference.
Like, for instance, this is not my favorite musical at all, but it's something I do like. Have you heard of South Pacific?
Yeah.
The music is beautiful. It's a little racist. It's definitely a little racist. But they have really beautiful music in it, you know? So I was trying to think of that. But
what's the last musical you saw? Live. In the
MJ.
theater. Oh.
Which, yeah. Look, was it MJ, Teddy? Yes, I think it was, yes. That was the last musical. Incredible. If you...
named Doja after the musical.
Yes, oh my gosh.
Hamilton,
Theodosia.
Which we are,
from Hamilton.
what's the anniversary now? You said yesterday?
For what? It's
for
10
Hamilton.
Years. So yeah, yesterday was a 10-year anniversary for Hamilton.
10 years.
Yeah.
Hamilton.
Yeah. So that's some of my...
What you got going on next? What's coming up for you?
Well, you talked about your independent casting, so I am casting for a major network here in Atlanta. So we've been busy casting 2 big projects. And so this, you know what's so crazy is like January, I feel like we're 16 days in? I don't know if I'm supposed to say that we're 16 days in, so correct me if I need to change that.
Cut that out.
But I feel like we are 2.5 weeks into the year, and I feel like I've done months worth of work in these 2.5 weeks. Like, it has been so busy and so full, and I'm not complaining.
I was like, which is a blessing.
The industry is in a very vulnerable place right now. So for me to have work, to offer work to actors feels like an immense blessing, and to do it in a market that's not like LA or New York feels like another big blessing. So it's been like a while. It feels like I've been on a crazy roller coaster since January, since the beginning of the year.
You know, when you say LA and New York, every time you talk, I always get these questions. I can ask you a million questions. Do you love being here, right, in Atlanta?
I do.
Do you plan on like settling here? Your roots.
Yes.
For now.
Yes.
Life can change. Do you believe you've given more to Atlanta, or Atlanta has given more to you?
Ooh. Do I feel like I've given more to Atlanta, or Atlanta's given more to me? That's a wonderful question. I feel like if I look over the span of my time here, like I came here at 21 years old, I feel like Atlanta has given more to me.
Me too. That's crazy.
And I don't think that a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah.
Like, I was literally watching something like Atlanta's one of the top 5 cities that people regret moving to.
What?
It's weird. Cleveland list was number 1. Yeah. No, but like Atlanta was one of the top 5 because of our, like, I think it was something like healthcare related and then jobs. But for me, I feel like it has been an incredible blessing.
Yes.
I feel like I grew up. Like I really, even though I came here kind of, I thought I was grown.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, oh, I really grew up here.
Yeah.
You know, like to be able to, like, I've learned lessons here. I've built lovely friendships here.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a plethora of really interesting relationships here, but found, you know, the love of my life here. I bought property here. Like so much of so many of the blessings that I currently sit in really took form when I came to this city.
And listening to you talk and listing the things that this city has given you. And I'm like, yeah, I went to grad school in New York. I spent time in New York. I love the New York theater community. I was raised between Louisiana and Mississippi. I love home. But something about Atlanta, the friendships, the mentorships, the career, all these things, it helps me want to keep going. Because on the way here, I'm like, I'm so tired. Like I am exhausted.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, wow, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. And I rarely have to fight for it. It just comes.
It's like, I feel like Atlanta, you have to make it your own.
But it makes me want to give more to Atlanta. It makes
Absolutely.
me, that's what I'm saying. It like, because Atlanta pours my cup, it makes me want to pour into the Atlanta cup.
I agree. I totally agree.
And I feel like I'm in a relationship with this city. And I love this city.
I do. I totally agree. And I think like it's a space where you can build. It's a space where you can create. It's a space where you can grow. Versus, I think other places where it's like you're waiting to get something from it. Atlanta's like, if you add to me,
I'll give
I'll
to
take,
you.
Yeah, I'll take care of you guys.
Find a way.
Yeah. So no, I feel like Atlanta's been a great move for me. I thought I was gonna be here for a year. Like I was like, you know what? I thought I was gonna be here for a summer.
What?
I was like, I'm gonna just be here for a summer. I was interning at Tyler Perry Studios. Yeah. I'm just gonna intern from like May to September. Move back with my parents, live in New Jersey, commute to New York, and figure out how to, like, you know, do something in the industry in New York. And literally, I was like, okay, let me give it 6 months. All right, gave it 6 months. All right, let me give it a year. All right, let me give it another year. And now this year will be 18 years that I've been in Atlanta.
Wow. This year will be 8 for me. And I did leave.
Right, exactly.
I left a summer. I was like, I'm going to do it on my own at home. And it's the whole like, dang, you don't know what you got till you gone thing.
Right.
When I went back, I was like, oh no, let me get back there. It's very rare that I think you can have a city and a place where you can thrive creatively, financially, business-wise, but also afford to do it. And you don't get bored. Like,
yeah, I agree. Now, I have a very interesting question for you.
What?
I know we're talking about Atlanta. This is good, though.
Okay.
And for those of you who don't know, Tiffany is an incredible actress as well. So Tiffany used to be my casting assistant.
Period.
Do you miss acting?
Wow.
Do you miss it? And she has an MFA in acting.
Wow.
So is this something that you miss? And is it something that you feel you can do here in Atlanta?
You know what I miss?
What?
Not acting, but like I miss the dreamer in me when I was an actor.
Ooh, I like that.
I felt, and you made me just realize that. Like, I think when I was in it, and by the time I stopped acting, I was like, I'm over this. There's other ways to make money. There's other ways to be an artist. I don't need this to be in this position of always looking forward, win. But now that, like I just said a few minutes ago, I was like, I don't really, things just keep coming to me. Thank God. Thank you, Jesus. But then I'm like, when you said, do you miss acting? Like, it cued a little, like, child in me. It was like, yeah, I miss the dreamer, though. I miss the dreaming part. I give it to you, actors. Now, you made me like, oh, that's what it is. And that's so crazy. And that's why it's so dangerous to be in your industry or your field or your role and not, like, commune with other people in it. Because I'm like, as a casting director, I see and talk to actors every day, all day. And it can get methodical. But when you ask me that question, I'm like, oh, I don't dream that much like that no more. Because work and do and create and build, but not necessarily hope and dream.
Yeah.
That's why they do it.
I know.
Well, I don't know why, but I would imagine that's a good reason. It's like, if that feels good to have this dream.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so maybe I do.
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe I do miss acting. I do miss the dreaming part about it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Dang. You acted? Do you miss it?
No. But I mean, this is what I miss. Like, I miss practicing. Like, I love rehearsing. I love rehearsing. Like, I miss, and I actually loved auditioning too.
I hate auditioning.
Like, I think that I'm like a little low key competitive, like little secret competitive.
Yeah.
So like auditioning was like a kind of fun, secretive competitive something for me. I don't feel like any desire push to act, but I miss the playfulness. Like, I miss playing. And I think that is what I miss about it. I don't actually like miss acting, but I miss playing, you know?
Do you dream or do you build?
Do I dream or do I build?
Yeah.
Do I dream or do I build?
Because when I hear you talk, and then I'm in my head now. Because I'm like, wait, you don't get to play anymore? I don't get to dream anymore?
What's wrong with that?
I know. Like, we're in these. It's good to build, though. You have to build your city so you can help others and community and all this stuff. But I'm like, dang, when do you get to play when I get to dream? Are you dream? Is this your dream, or is this something you've created and built?
I feel like this is something I've built. And I feel like I'm building still. Like, I feel like I'm in a building mindset. And I think that I would love to sit in the dreamer's mindset more. But I feel like, and I think like that's a part of like working behind the scenes, behind the cameras, is that like you do kind of get caught up in the building phase, either the building of your life or building of yourself so you can pay bills, or building so you can go from being assistant cameraman to the head camera person, or the PA to the second AD and then the DP. And so everything becomes about building, and it's really easy to forget that we're playing make-believe.
We're artists.
Like all of this is just made up, You
get there, and then it's like, now what? Okay, I've built this big castle, but
it's like, I would say, what does dreaming look like, feel like for you?
Right. So now it looks like yesterday, like watching those dancers who are like, pick me, let me go as hard as I want, or whatever. They're in their dream mode when they're auditioning. So what can that be for me? I think that's going back to the drawing board. I think that's remembering 10, 15, 20 years ago, Tiffany, what I was aiming for. Because I feel like I've hit a lot of things I aimed for and went beyond. I think it's going back to an improv class. I think it's writing more.
It's like, so I will never forget. I was like a intern, or maybe like first year assistant. And one of these like older producers, very established, that I work with, it was talking about somebody, and they said, and they were really young, and he said the light is still in their eyes. And it made me feel like, oh, I don't want to lose that light, And I think it's so easy to like lose that light. And it just, I mean, I guess in just being grown up, and definitely within the industry. But sometimes I ask myself, like, is the light still in your eyes, Rhavynn?
Well, I was going to ask you, do you think this industry kind of sucks some of our light, or do we allow it? Or
it can, absolutely. And especially in the past couple of years, between the pandemic and 2 strikes and now fires in LA, I think that for a lot of crew artists, that light is either extinguished or really diminishing. What are you working at? Sorry. So I do. I think it's like how you hold on to that is a big test. I don't know if she's barking at you, but
dogs are spiritual.
I know. But yeah, but I do think it's like, how do you hold on to that?
How do you hold on to it? You let it go.
Oh, interesting.
You let it go. How you hold on to anything is by letting it go.
Yeah.
I'm learning.
Yeah.
This industry is so reflective of everyday life. Cause like what you just said, we're playing make believe. We're not curing cancer.
Yeah.
But kinda we are. Because
Yeah.
I mean, when you get to play and you get to let loose and get free and get that cortisol out your body and move,
Yeah.
it's all connected. But I think we could become so possessive of our dream that our dreams turn into something we build, and then we turn around 20, 30 years later and we didn't even do the original thing we wanted to do. But then we get to have these conversations.
Yeah.
And then we get to meet, people on set, and then we get to go to the network things in Atlanta and all this stuff and be reminded of what we're doing and why we're doing it. And if we're not where we're supposed to be, we can always pivot.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
We can always
That's true.
pivot.
Yeah.
What type of actor would you want to be if you were an actor?
Oh, I would absolutely be just on the stage.
Oh.
Yeah. I would probably, I feel like if I was a theater actor, I can see why theater actors want to do film. I totally understand that. I think having worked in film, for so long, I would probably try to stick toward the stage though. Yeah.
I would be a Shakespearean actor. For
Really?
sure. Classical for sure.
Really?
Sign me up. Probably go over there to Europe and London. And do the
Really?
globe. Yes.
Wow.
That's so funny. We both will be theater actors and we work
Yeah.
in film.
Because I feel like there's still the aspect of collaboration and figuring out. Whereas a lot of times with film, it's like, oh no, we don't have time to rehearse. Let's get it, let's get it done. We gotta get the shot. It becomes super technical. Versus theater, which you kind of still have the space to let the artist in you, flourish.
I have a question.
Yes.
I believe behind the camera, there are a lot of actors watching this on their phone late at night.
Yes.
They're like, oh my God, Rhavynn. Oh my God, Rhavynn.
Rhavynn what?
What exactly? What would you tell them? To to the actors watching this for you? Like, who don't get to speak to you, who don't get to come to your class, you don't see their DM. What would you tell them now that you have the opportunity to look directly in that camera?
I feel part of me feels like I need to apologize. Like, sorry for anybody who's ever sent me a DM that I didn't respond to. I'm sorry. I feel like, what would I tell them? Take your time. In that, I think that so many actors are in a rush to like whatever making it is for them. Take your time. Like, okay, you didn't get as many auditions this year, but you got some. Okay, you booked one project. Okay, you booked something. Take your time. Like this is a marathon career that you have chosen.
Literally.
And there can be so much beauty in that, in that you've chosen to do this. But if you make it about making it, it becomes something that I think is can be heartbreaking. And so I think taking your time, letting yourself grow as an artist. Like I would say, like let your measure of success be, how did I grow this year as an artist versus like what did I book? So I think if you focus on like, oh, I had a breakthrough in my acting class, I had a performance that really felt good, whatever it is, like that should be your measurement of success versus like, is she scooting? Versus like, oh, did Rhavynn hire me or did she see what I did? That would be that's something that I feel like a lot of actors don't focus on enough.
I agree. I love that. I think I would tell them, I think I do tell them, get your person together. Be a good person. Be a better person. Be a whole person. I know that may be a lifelong journey, but I just feel like a lot of actors here, in my opinion, do not experience enough life. It's all about you know, everything is actor. All their friends are actors. They only go to actor events. Actor,
Yeah.
actor. But I'm like, the characters you're trying to play, they're not actors.
Yeah, get a
They're
hobby.
they're grocery store clerks.
Yeah.
They're doctors. They're villains. Go be a
Yeah.
villain. Go be a go buy some groceries. You know what I'm saying? Like, go live life and don't even think about acting. And so when the camera turns on or it's time to walk on the stage, you know, you have other things to pull from than the standard experiences that you have.
Yeah, that's
just
really
in the
good.
standard way you respond to your neighbor or your friend or your coworker or the store clerk. Now you've experienced seeing, you have other stimuli to give when it's time to audition, other than the thing that you're going to do that first take that 3, 4, 5 other people are going to do that first take, because y'all all have the same experiences because you go to the same place and have the same coaches and do the same. You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, go live life and it will come to you.
Yeah.
I don't think we encourage that enough in the industry, because if an actor stops and lives life, then, you know, the money stops for certain things, right?
Yeah.
Like, if they're not taking classes, then the person who's giving the class is not making money. If they're not, it's like, I get it, it's a business, but don't let the business of it fool you into the process. Like, you have to know what the process is, and that is being and portraying a human being. And you have to be a human being to be a human being.
I have a controversial question for you.
Okay, what's up?
This may not make the cut.
I don't care. That's up to
how much, when you're watching auditions, when do you stop?
I stop 4 seconds in.
4?
1, 2, 3. And I'm dead serious. Cause you know it'll take. I stop 4 seconds in. It doesn't. Let me ask you something. We you know you watching the tape, but say somebody walk through that door. Does it take 8 seconds to figure out if it's a man or a woman? Does it take 10 seconds to figure out if it's an Amazon driver or a surgeon? Yes. No, it don't take that long.
That is hilarious.
When someone shows up as they are, they show up as they are.
That's good. Okay.
That's the human process. So when I come across a tape and they are what they are from second one, from the beginning, they're in character. Ooh. They're telling the story. That's what I'm hiring them to do. I'm not waiting to figure out if they can convince me, if they can do the job.
Act down.
Act up, act down. How long does it take you? You're so nice. She's so nice. How long does it take you, Rhavynn?
Not 4 seconds.
Yeah, you was watching auditions last night, and I heard it. I was like, man, she better than me. Because I wasn't even looking at the screen. I was like, nah, that ain't it.
So you know what I do? I honestly try to get through. It depends on the role.
Okay, that's fair.
But, like, this is going to sound bad. So there's some people that we audition that we just know are strong.
True.
So what I will do is I try to start with the strongest person, and I'll watch their audition all the way through. And then other people, I'm not judging it against that person, but that's kind of like my frame of reference. And then it's like, oh, okay, if like we're nowhere close, then I probably give him about 15 seconds.
That's a long time.
I know, compared to 4.
That's a long time.
There are some moments that I'm looking for. So I'll try to like skip to find how they delivered that
certain moments. That's true.
Based on me having at least watched one audition from beginning to end. But I'm like, this may not make the cut because people gonna know. But but I will say, like, I'm like, when's the last time I really watched a bunch of auditions from beginning to end? Like, numerous times. I will say, for the larger roles, I do try to watch more of it because these are larger series regular type roles. But if you're like co-star or like a cop, if you're a cop,
like, there's no reason.
After the first 1 or 2 lines, okay, we got it. All right, next.
Well, also on the opposite end of that, in these 4 seconds, maybe you're so good in them 4 seconds, I don't need to watch. You see what I'm saying? Some people blow you away from the beginning.
But I will
like,
say,
yeah.
I enjoy, like, if you're good,
Yeah.
and if you really start off good, I actually do enjoy watching you throughout the whole thing. I do. And I will watch you throughout the whole thing. If you're not good, then I'm like, okay, we gotta skip.
You're wasting time.
Yeah.
But, and that's also, I love that, because this is also a time thing. Everything about our job is not deep and creative and art. A lot of our job is administrative.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
being mediators between production and creative.
Yeah.
So knowing the process, I'm speaking to actors, of what we do, so you don't take things personal. I was looking back at some auditions that I held earlier this year, a callback, and the director, it was me, the director, and we were auditioning for the lead, and the director at the end was like, okay, and if I don't see you again, if you don't hear from us, you did a great job, it was great working for you, and just like that, in that tone and cadence and everything. And when I was watching it back, I was like, dang, if I was an actor in that moment, there's no way I would have thought I got it. She got that role.
Oh, wow.
And it was just a reminder that you really can't go off of these casting directors and directors, and, like, feedback and stuff. You can't go off of that, because they're also working. They're on their job. This is their 9 to 5. They're in work mode. So basing, like, whether I got it on or on our feedback and our mood, is not optimal.
That's so good. That's so good. I cannot believe you just said 4 seconds.
I can't believe you just asked me that, knowing I was gonna say what I. But I mean, that's what I love about you, though, Rav. You're very for the people. Like, you're very for the actors in a way that's very different than I think a lot of people.
Yeah.
Very caring, but yeah. But you did ask something. You was like, I can't remember the last time I watch tapes full through, and I'm like, do you think you're jaded a little now by this, like, or I think when I first started casting, I thought it was the most wonderful, beautiful thing in the world.
Oh, really?
It still is.
Yeah.
It still is.
Yeah.
But my day-to-day process, I feel like I could do it with my eyes closed.
Yeah.
And I love that you asked that, because I'm like, well, I wonder what happens if I'm more intentional about hoping that this person gets it right in, I guess, 15 to 20 seconds.
What I will say is, and look at you, go. I think that question runs a lot deeper than what you're asking. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, this definitely won't make the cut. But
it may.
I feel like, okay, if I'm just being honest, I feel like we're jaded because we're supposed to be doing something else. And I know, like, that was like, too much. That's not gonna make the
jumps out window.
Cut.
Wow, that's crazy.
But here's the thing, like, casting is our job, and it's beautiful, and we're good at it, and we love artists. But I don't think it is not my zone of genius. It is not my zone of genius. I think it's my zone of excellence, but not my zone of genius. And there's a book about that, and I forgot the name of it. But anyway, so
wow,
I think that I think that there are some people that do, and I've talked to them on panels. Thank you. They do genuinely love watching auditions from beginning to end, and the whole process of it, and they watch the reels, and they do it all because I think this is their zone of genius. I don't think it is that for us.
It's not.
And so I think because of that, we are a little jaded.
Wow.
In that, because we enjoy it. We feel blessed to be able to do it, but it is also our job versus our genius.
It is our job. And that's so interesting. And yeah, this may not make the cut. I feel bad, because now I understand my frustration with, sometimes I get a little, like, frustrated when actors make this, even though I just sat here and was like, I don't dream anymore. But I also know there's more to life than this.
Yeah.
And so it's hard for me to encourage you to turn this into for some people, an idol.
Yeah.
When I'm like, I don't even care. I mean, I just happen to be good at this. And this just happened to be my thing, but I don't really care that much.
Yeah.
So now you're putting me in the position of performer.
Yeah.
Because now I have to, and I do, because I care about you as a human being and an actor, I have to put on the performance of just do this because this is the da-da-da-da-da-da. And the whole time I'm like, man, they cast that role 3 months ago. I gotta go you know what I'm saying?
But yeah.
Wow. So what are we supposed to be doing? What are you supposed to be doing?
I think that is our quest, you know? I love working with actors. And I want to keep working with actors. I like working with actors more from a directing standpoint than a casting standpoint, because I want to go into a lot more of the inner work of the process of like, how do we get the best performance out of you versus how do I pick the best person for the role. So it's not like, then that's why it's like, it's complementary what we do. But I think that the administrative, political, bureaucratic
very political
aspect of casting is something that I'm over.
Yes, very political. I wish people understood how political and subjective,
yes,
and personal this can be for people making the decision.
Yes, absolutely.
Which is a lot to take on. But I love how you said you love actors and you like to direct them.
Cut it out, Doja.
That is behind the camera, and she does not like that.
Yes.
Come
here. Doja.
I like coaching actors. I like coaching them, but I like coaching people. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a passionate person about being your best self. So it is complimentary.
I'm sorry. Doja, come here.
Funny.
Doja. Okay.
Little daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is complimentary. I love being around actors when I'm telling them the game, like, yo, this is what's really going on behind the scenes. And I think I have an eye for talent too.
Yeah.
So it's complimentary, an eye for skill and gift, and an eye for transparency and authenticity, which you need in acting. But I just like to tear it all down and then build it up.
Yeah,
and in casting, you don't have time to tear it down.
I know, because we have to get the cast.
Yeah,
so we have to move on to the next one. Yeah, I feel you.
Dang, that's crazy. I wonder if that's gonna come out.
I know, like, we'll see if it makes the cut. All right, so this is when we do a rapid fire. We ask every guest this question, but let's answer this for us.
Okay.
We'll be the first ones. We'll be the guinea pigs.
Okay.
Guinea pigs for it. All right, so what's been your favorite age thus far, and why?
Ooh.
Ooh. Your favorite age. I mean, we have to tell your age, but what's been your favorite age?
When I was 28, it was lit.
What is it about 28? I was going to say 28.
There was a day I was on 3 dates a day. Child, I was cutting through Atlanta.
I was literally going to say 28.
I was cutting through. But it's not even just a dating aspect. It was just fun. It was a fun year. It was like,
yes.
Yours is 28?
Yes.
It's the year of like, I'm almost grown for real, and I'm leaving these early 20s behind. I really know who I am, even though you really don't, because now that we're older, we're like, please. But that year was just freeing. It was like, I could still have fun because I'm in my 20s, but I could also still like create this woman that I always wanted to be. Because I'm out of school. I'm done with school now. I have some money. I have a real job now and all these things. So it's a beautiful marriage of like freedom and responsibility.
I felt like I was so brave.
Ooh,
and it's not that I don't feel like I'm brave now.
Because you're not out of time at 28.
Yeah, like literally there's something about 28. Like I felt like it was my bravest. Like, so at 28 is when I created, filmed, released Good Girls. And literally at 30, and I'm 38 right now, and I'm like, what the heck were you thinking? Like, I'm like, the fact that I'm like, something told me, oh yeah, you're going to act in this, and you're going to direct it, and you're going to produce it, and you're going to put your money behind it. And it was like, I did that without like care. It was just go. And I'm like, that was my 28th year. I released it. I feel like it was my 28th year. I traveled to Paris by myself.
Wow.
And literally, like, it was like a Tuesday, and I'm like, I want to go to Paris. I've never been. That Saturday I was in Paris. And I'm like, who does, and like, I also like dating. I felt like I had fun in relationships.
Yes, it
wasn't serious. It wasn't like, oh, I'm like, have to lock something. Like, I loved 28.
I created my first film, wrote, directed, and created my first film at 28 too.
I don't know what
And then I created a film festival.
20, yes. Just
That's
something
insane.
And I've heard other people say 28 has been their favorite year. And then it's like they skip to like something in their 40s. But like there's something about 28 that's been a really special year. Now 30s.
I was about to ask you. I was like, what do you feel about 30s, girl? What do you feel?
30s has been, for me, the decade of tearing everything down. And I mean by that, it has been the decade of everything that was not right needed to be removed.
Man.
Things that, like, all the gunk of my life has come up in 38, and not 38, in my 30s. And it's been, I literally feel like it has been the most difficult, but also the most necessary. But it has been like, and this is like from day one of my 30s.
When you turned 30.
Like, as soon as I turned 30, like day one was like, oh wait, what's happening? But it's definitely in so many areas of my life, it has been, I'll say, a beautiful challenge.
A beautiful challenge.
But when I think of 30s, like 30s has been job reflection, housing reflection. I have dated the best man and also the worst man in my 30s.
If you're watching this, I'm sorry, but what?
It has been there have been health things, and I'm like, what is this?
Yes.
Family-wise, like, I know we
Grief.
both lost a parent, having to deal with grief. Like, it has been like a pandemic. It has definitely been like the most challenging decade, and I feel like it has made me stronger. But I also have felt like I have needed the most godly help and humanly help ever in this decade.
I absolutely found God in my 30s.
Yes.
I committed to him.
Yes.
I always had him. I'm a preacher's kid, right? Church my whole life. But man, nobody but God can take you through the things as a 30-year-old Black woman.
Girl.
In this world.
Yes.
Oh my God. I agree.
And it's like I'm about to be 39. And it's been like literally, I feel like from 30 to like, it's been like, oh yeah, that's something else.
And then that.
So,
yeah. 28 though.
That's good. That's something that's your best. Okay. So if you weren't an actor or artist, what would you be doing?
I would be a lawyer.
Really?
Yeah, I was about to go to law school this year.
Really?
I would not be shocked if I leave this world and being like, finally.
I'm a lawyer.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something so beautiful about the law and so beautiful about being literal and legalistic. It's also controlling and manipulative. So you have to be careful. But I think law is beautiful. Like it frees a lot of people. I also think it's something that we lack in our community as Black people. We don't have enough Black lawyers, and I think that's a reason why we're in some of the places we are. Black lawyers are necessary. Black doctors, Black engineers, Black everything. But I love the written word. I love being specific. I love being all these things. Which is so opposite of the creative is the right brain, right? Yeah.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah. Our creative side is our right brain, and our analytical side is our left brain. And I love and appreciate the left brain. I think it's beautiful, even though I operate in the right. But yeah, I would absolutely go to law school for sure. What about you?
I would be a luxury travel host.
What is that?
I would literally, what I would do is I would start with hotels.
Okay.
I love like my thing is like I can be very frugal, but when it comes to hotel, I'm like, take my money.
Run it up.
I would literally be a host to tell people which hotels and resorts to stay at.
Are you doing that in person?
Like,
you can see which one of us got the money.
yeah. Like I would literally travel to hotels, review,
hotels,
I
know what you're saying.
Review them, and then let people know.
You can do that now.
I know. trust me, it may be a side hustle, but that would be my thing, is to be like a luxury travel host, like Samantha. I think her name is Samantha Brown, but she used to have a travel show. But that would be what I would do.
Oh, like you would have a show doing it.
Yes, it's still in the
okay,
range,
so still
just not acting.
Yeah, okay.
Brunch or happy hour?
Ugh.
Or neither?
Neither.
Really?
Brunch or, okay, if I had to. No, neither. Dinner for me.
Really?
Yeah, I love getting dressed up and going out for dinner late at night and the drinks. But happy hour, the last thing I want to do, and I owe my girl a happy hour, by the way. You're coming off of work, and then brunch is like, if I finally got a moment to have, I don't want to go to brunch. You can't
do that. Really?
I want to go to dinner.
I like waffles. I like waffles.
But are you meaning going out or the food?
I mean going out. Like, I'm more likely to go out for brunch than I am for happy hour.
Yeah, I guess brunch if I had to, but I'm a dinner girl.
I got you. Can you sit for me? Thank you. So what do you love about being an artist in the Southeast? We kind of talked about it.
Yeah, we touched on it. I love being close to home. I'm a Southern girl. I love Black art. And there's a lot of Black people here.
Yeah.
And I love that. And I think it's a lot of opportunity to create your own opportunities. And,
I agree.
And you don't have that everywhere. I love being here. Will it always be here? Who's to say? I do want to expand. I don't want to make it seem like I want to just be in this box here.
Yeah.
I absolutely want to expand, but for what it's given me, I appreciate it a lot. I love being around my people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I love that the Southeast feels like if you have to crawl before you can walk, it's a great place to crawl. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a great place to like figure it out and be able to afford to
figure it out and still have a good quality life.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I love most. What's the most challenging thing you've done lately?
Learn how to forgive.
Oh,
and it's very hard. I still don't know if I'm doing it right.
Oh,
like it's so foreign to me, forgiveness, that I still, when I'm doing, I'm like literally asking, like, God, am I doing this right? Like, I could tell something's different, and I could tell I've never forgiven before because now I'm actively trying, and I'm like, dang, I've been walking around crazy. Like I've been walking around with a lot of regret and resentment and holding in, and I didn't know. I thought it was normal. I thought I was killing it.
Wow.
But now that I've read up on forgiveness and from a scientific perspective and a biblical perspective, I'm like, oh, it really does harm you when you harbor ill will and resentment. And I'm trying to actively learn how to do it. This morning I was like, this is the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Wow. I really feel like I'm failing, and I'm a perfectionist and I hate to fail. And I feel like I'm failing and I'm intentionally failing. It would be much easier just be like, yo, I don't want to deal with any of this. I'm going to close off and block off. That's easy.
Yeah.
So forgiving, but it's hard, but I see why it's necessary, because you can't expand or grow without it. You cannot.
Ooh.
You cannot. You know that whole cliche, oh, you forgive people for yourself. And it's very real.
Oh, that's so good.
What about for you? Let me ask you the next one. Ooh, I like your last question.
That's what has been the most challenging thing?
Wait a minute. Oh, well, I'm just saying.
You know what? This is so, I'm like trying to think of my answer for this.
That's challenging. So what's in this moment making it hard for you to answer this?
Because I'm trying to figure out which angle I want to go with. Mm-hmm. So being pregnant is not challenging.
Okay.
The mindset behind it is, if that makes sense for me.
Like, give someone else.
Like, I am not in control. And there is something about being pregnant that you are so beautifully aware that it's like, okay, God, this is all you. Like,
wow.
In terms of the conception of this child,
wow,
growing this child, and having to come and face that has been beautifully challenging.
Wow.
And so it's like, and that's what I mean. Like, so I'm not going to say like being pregnant is challenging, but the idea of I am not in control. Like I can only control what I can, which is the people I have around me or like the food I eat. But it's like this is all you. Like it's literally like, oh, like I am the hands off here. And having to confront those like feelings of anxiety or worry or fear and all those things. And it's like, oh, this is just okay, God. Here you go.
I have a question for you because we all know I'm a control freak. What makes letting go, or you not, what makes this hard? Is it the journey or the pull of trying to get control? Are you trying to get more control or get back control? Or is it hard to want to not to be in control and trying to get there? You saying like you're not in control.
Yeah.
Are you trying to make ways or find ways to gain some sense of control again? Or are you trying to make ways and find ways to not want control?
Ooh. That's really complicated. But I think I've been trying to find ways to gain control. And
that's deep.
And I think that's, and maybe we all do it. And it's not just with, right? It's with so many things.
Yeah.
But I think having to relinquish and being like, okay, I'm stepping into the unknown. And like, there's a meditation I love. And I listened to it last night. And it says, one of the lines is, I do not strive, I am guided. And when I think of control, I think of I'm striving. Like I'm trying to make sure this happens. I'm trying to have all my I's, the I's dotted and my T's crossed and all those things. But if I let myself be guided, oh, okay, it's like, all right, I'm open and I'm open to be guided by where God wants me to be. And that is terrifying because you living in the unknown of I don't know. But it's also, I trust you, you know? So, yeah.
Girl, look, it could be another whole hour on that one. I'm
gonna make this a part 1 and part 2.
Look, because I got questions, but we got a time. What makes you feel alive?
Oh yeah, this was the last question.
That's good.
Being creative makes me feel alive. So sometimes that's writing. I love being on set. Those things make me feel alive.
I do love being on set. I think it's 2 things. Being creative in a way that I want to be creative in, and not being creative in a way I'm supposed to be creative. Like being creative in casting, being creative in directing or whatever. But like when I write something and it's good, I'm like, and someone thinks it's good, I'm like, oh my God. But also the other side of me is like, I feel most alive when I love someone.
Oh, that's so good.
And I rarely love someone. That's why I know that feeling is so great. I'm like, oh, this, I feel alive.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to do both of those things this year. I'm trying to be intentional about working on loving, not just romantically, but when I like loving on my friends more and my girls more and my family, my mom more, trying to love her deeper. But when I love something like for real, I feel alive then. So when I can marry the creativity, because that's when I start getting creative, like gift giving and just showing up in certain ways. But yeah, I think love makes me feel alive. So you're making me realize and discover things in the moment.
Yay! Actors. That's the purpose of
acting.
Yes.
Wait, that's the purpose of what?
Act up.
Yes. In the moment. I love it.
Yeah, this was really good.
This was good. I was nervous the first
This was the perfect first episode.
Yeah.